Hello, descendants of slaves and United States people and YouTube, our world. I am out. You may hear a little bit of background noise because I am at the park, social distancing. However, I understand that this is going to be a historic, a lot of video, a lot of soundbite. It will. So right now we're in 2020, experiencing a community crisis as a descendant of slavery in the most powerful country in the world. We're in the first world nation, and right now we're experiencing president candidates going to challenge each other in terms of Republican and Democrat. And I'm going to give a little analysis on who they are to my people and who they are also to everyone. Because, we're not the only people necessarily don't know what it is that we are. Because people that is not us haven't been taught necessarily who we are or how to care for us according to the peculiar shaping that we have been anchored in. And that is denial, neglect, harmful existence, being exploitation. We are the battery of the society. And a lot of times a car have a motor, but it doesn't get to enjoy. The motor runs the car, but people get to ride in it. People get to enjoy the music in it and so forth. We are the engine of this society as descendants of slaves. We have been shaped that way without our fault, peculiarly shaped that way from the denial of government and the anchoring of government. Our parents and ancestors were slaves. They were brought here as slaves, starting from Africa, which we know all human beings came from Africa. So no, we're not immigrants. We're people of the United States. We're people of America. When they were brought here, it got so bad until the mixing of slaves, our women were bed wenches and things. Mulattoes were born and they were considered slaves as well. Slavery was a institution that had so many different sectors in it until it was just a wealth, just giving a wealth to a nation. But at our demise, I'm linked to the blood that had to live the demise of this action and of this course for 400 years. Now we've reached a point where we are picking back up the ball from the 60s and 50s, when the 60s, especially when Dr. King's regime and Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, shouting and leading black people to a newfound freedom in terms of being on an equal playing field of America, of the United States of America. I think simply because the descendants of slaves are a peculiar and powerful people. But see, we shape all the narratives and we catapult in everything that we do, but we don't get the incentive of being a wealth in terms of community. And this is governmental. You see, government takes tax dollars from you. You pay taxes almost on everything you have. And not only that you pay tax dollars, you have given to the society as a group. But everyone else benefits from it because you are the battery. You are basically like, you don't mean anything in terms of receiving nothing, but you mean something in terms of giving. Where here, we stop that. This is where we say this stops. We are to be important and recognized as an important people in the society, which we deserve. This is harming us. Because I'll tell you how much it's harming us. If government doesn't stand for us in terms of a reciprocation of loyalty, what happens is no one respects us, including the police. That's why our black people are getting shot by police officers, and police are able to say, well, this happened and that happened, and not be punished for it, because we're not really considered a valuable existence or an invaluable people. But we are. As you know, without us, the country would not be in the shape that it's in terms of wealth for other groups. Not only white supremacy or white people, they have allowed other people to come on board. So I'm going to give a little bit more about Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris family is one of the families who came to this beautiful establishment, this beautiful empire that we as slaves put together and our grandparents built, free labor, blood sacrifice, being harmed. Kamala Harris came here and her family to benefit from this first world nation's wealth, and they are doing so. And the East Indians especially, We're not going to totally say it's their fault for being able to access our society. It's our government's fault for neglecting us in such a way. They access this society miraculously by saying they are colored or minorities, using whistleblower terms that is adjacent or trying to be close to who we are, so that they benefit from laws which we put into place by fighting, dying in the street, being bit by dogs. We have made the morality of government here. We are the government's morality in terms of the law. And other people benefit from that. Kamala Harris is one of those people. She also went to a HBCU. She is a constituency to white supremacy. Not to I wouldn't say white people, because there's some white people who want to fight. But they're anchored in such a way they don't have to, because they're okay. And they don't really know how to fight for us because they don't eat the failure of United States slavery descendant. They don't eat the failure of the benign and the neglect in terms of who we are as a group. So they don't truly know how to fight for us. But we know how to fight for ourselves. But here we are waking up. This is a sleeping giant that's woke now, that the ground is swelling. We will not honor Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris is a infiltrator. She's not only an infiltrator, she's somebody. The reason she is because she's saying that she's one thing and she's really not. What she is, she's misrepresented herself. She's stolen identity because of a legacy that was given to her by her parents and allowed by our government. That is dangerous. Kamala Harris' actions as a politician or as an attorney or as a law enforcement has been to our demise. She has locked up black people that she was forced by a judge to let go, and forced, and her actions was to not do so because she felt that she was letting the United States know that I'm on board with what you do here to black people, to descendants of slavery. But she's also on board to going to HBCUs and benefiting from our institutions, our educational learning institutions, so that she catapult in career and catapult in infiltrating our government. This is how people come in on our coattails, but they don't do it on white people. Okay? You're not gonna come over there and mess on white people coattails. That's why immigration is a problem now, because they're starting to mess with white people. Okay? Now, we'll talk about Biden, Joe Biden. Him choosing her as his vice president. Joe Biden is someone who historically, as a slave owner descendant, which he is, denied reparations to me, denied my saving point to me, my health, my community, my safety. Reparations is the face of it is dollars, but it's not just money. It's me being protected. It's the idea of business for me. The idea of government saying that I'm special, I'm not to be harmed. The idea of me being shaped in terms of community as a brand, according to what I experienced, according to the demise which I have experienced by being born in this society as a descendant of slavery. A person of a group that has not been corrected in terms of bringing wealth to a nation of people. This is what's happened to me. And this year, we are saying cut the check in terms of government. This is not going to keep continuing on. We will not stop. We will stand. We will give our last. We will cry loud and we will spare not. We will cry at your meetings. We will come and we will shout at your meetings. You will face us. We are FBA. We're Foundation of Black Americans. We're ADOS. We're American Descendant of Slavery. We Black First. We're the new Black Voices of Black Media. Let me tell you who we are. We out here tall, and we standing. Our blood and soil is connected to this. This is a demise to us as a people. You cannot treat black people like children. We're not kids. And as a matter of fact, if you respect black people, there wouldn't be so many black men standing on the corner asking for money because they would have a way. They are disencouraged because they don't have an anchoring where they can choose different avenues. White people are on drugs too, but they have avenues to choose from that is a health for them. Cut the check. Cut the check. This is our story.